In this video, we're going to be using our random number generator from the TI84 plus CE. So the first thing you're going to do is visit the Maths button and select probability. So we're going to scroll across to probability, and we can see that we've got a number of random number generator choices here. The first one, number one, is simply going to generate a random number between 0 and 0.9 reoccurring effectively. So to look at that, we just press enter and enter again, and there you go, you've got 0.94. Keep pressing enter for other random numbers between 0 and 0.9 reoccurring, and you can see what happens. Let's clear all that out by going second memory, reset, and press enter, and then 2 for reset. And let's try it again with another random number generator. So we're going to press math and then scroll across to probability. And option number 5 is probably the more typical one to use. It's going to generate random integers between any range we like. So let's say we are interested in selecting, I don't know, 20 students at random from Marici College. And let's say we've got 900 students, which is pretty close to the truth. And so we can have a simple list of students and number them from 1 to 900. So this is what we would do. We would press 5, and the lower limit would be 1. The upper limit, just scrolling down for that, would be 900. Let's say we don't have 900, but 924, for example. And let's say we want to select a certain number. I don't know what I said before, but let's make it 20. And there we go. And what I can do now is press scroll down to paste and hit enter. Now before I do, if I hit enter, I will get 20 random numbers selected from 1 to 924 inclusive. That can be a bit hard to see on the screen. So what I can do is store it as a list. So I can press after that, before I hit enter, for sure, I press store and then second. And if you look at the number 1 key, you'll see above it L1. So it's going to store in list 1. And I'm going to hit enter. And then there are my, and I can scroll across and see all the numbers, but as I say, it's a bit awkward. If I want to see it in a list, I could go to stat and then edit like so. And you can see my 20 randomly selected numbers in list 1. And so I can see the night score. If you see, look there, it says L1 bracket night. So the night score was 920, 186, and so forth. Okay. Now let's just clear that again. Clear everything. Get a nice fresh calculator interface, and we are going to hit everything. 2. Okay. The other random number generators relate to the normal distribution and the binomial distribution. Let's say, for example, normal and binomial is fairly similar anyway. But let's say I wanted to select, I don't know, 10 scores between certain parameters. So let's say I had a set of 10 scores from a test that had a mean of 64, is a decent sort of mean, and let's say the standard deviation for a test was 10. And let's say I wanted to generate, I'm doing a simulation here, so simulate what happens when I get 20 scores from such a test. So I'd scroll down to paste and I would enter that, and I could store it in a list, but in this case I won't, so I'll just press enter. And there is my list of 20 scores. As you can see, it's very awkward, 48, 50 and so forth. Standard deviation of 10. Just reflect on that for a bit. Remember, if you're within one standard deviation plus or minus, you're picking up about 2/3 of all scores. So I would expect about 2/3 of 20 scores to be within what is it, 54 and 74, because that is the upper and lower limit of one standard deviation from 64. Anyway, the other interesting thing I can do from my random number generator is this. Let's have a look. Let's go to math again, probability rather. Random integer, no repetition. So you can see where this might be useful. If I really was picking 20 students from a list of 924, for instance, like I did before, it's probably important that I don't select the same option twice. So in that case, I'll just use this option, rand int no repetition, so it won't repeat any student twice. Just to experiment a bit, let's say I had a lower limit of 1 and I had a upper limit of 10. So this is 10 integers it's going to generate with no repetition. And let's say I did something really daft like select 12. Well, I can't get 12 numbers generated without repetition, so I'm expecting an error. So it would be good if that happened. And you can see that I did get an error message there. Okay, so that's just a clip on all the functionality pretty well of the random number generator from your TI84 plus CE. Thank you for listening.